Hey, this is Warren Redlick. Short video here. There's an article that I discovered. This is several months old, but this is really important for understanding Tesla's progress in batteries, how that leads into the company's development of battery technology, and what that ultimately means for the company's success going forward. So, this is a publication called Battery Power, and they talk about an event where Drew Baglino of Tesla, I'm the Drew Baglino fan club president, along with Jordan Gieseke from Limiting Factor. We're co-founders. There is no such fan club, but we're both big fans of Drew Baglino. So Drew accepted the Shep Wolski Battery Innovator of the Year award yesterday. I actually Googled Shep Wolski. Like, I can't tell if this is just hallucinated by ChatGPT because I can't find the Shep Wolski. But in any event, founded the International Battery Seminar in 1983 and was a tireless champion of battery innovation. So there were more than 2,000 conference attendees, and he sat down with a fireside chat with Shirley Mung, who's a top battery scientist that Jordan Gieseke at Limiting Factor has actually talked to. She helped do a teardown of the 4680 battery cell. So, as a detail about Baglino, worked at Tesla for nearly 20 years, growing up at the company, senior vice president of powertrain and energy engineering. And his work has been essential in Tesla's shift to dry electrode coating and innovation in the electrode manufacturing step that delivers savings in capital, investment, labor, utilities, the footprint of factories, and more. And Drew says going from wet to dry reduces all that. Discussed this at Battery Day, but he's explaining it here. Going from wet to dry reduces all those costs by a factor of 3, so 1/3 the cost. From a footprint perspective, it's an order of magnitude smaller. That's 1/10 the size. So the land or the factory space you need is 1/10 the size of what you need otherwise. It requires 1/4 of the labor, 1/4 of the utilities, and half of the equipment costs. So this radically reduces the cost of producing batteries if you can get dry battery electrode to work. This, I believe, is the process that they acquired. I can't remember the name of the company. I think it was a company in Canada that they acquired that was doing this. And as Drew says, these costs are not just reflected in a cheaper battery cell, savings in human time to build the factory as well as to build the electrode. When you're trying to build as many batteries as quickly as possible, putting less human time up front means you can accelerate the ramp of gigawatt hours per year every year. This is enabling, in the long run, enabling Tesla as they're dialing in what they're doing in Giga Texas manufacturing batteries. They're dialing in the future of 4680 in Fremont, at Cato Road in Fremont. And they've talked about how they need 240 terawatt hours, that the world needs 240 terawatt hours of energy storage for stationary and automotive batteries. And he thinks it's going to be worth it and we're going to be able to do it. So Mung pushed Baglino on how the Tesla team came up with a specific number. I told you this was going to be hard. She quipped. I guess that's talking about the interview. And Drew said a Tesla white paper is forthcoming. I think this was before the Investor Day presentation where they did put forward how they came up with this number. So he talked about other areas and he said they considered a whole bunch of needs. And they got to 240. Others have said, Mung has said 400 terawatt hours. Jeff Don, who's connected with Tesla, has also said 400 terawatt hours. So Baglino said they didn't include some other options in their consideration. It certainly could be more, but he thinks that they could get to 240 terawatt hours, that we, the world, can get to 240 terawatt hours. And his take on this is, because everybody has been very critical, he said to get to 240 terawatt hours with about a 20-year lifespan on the storage, that's about 20 terawatt hours a year. Okay, 20 terawatt hours a year of production of batteries. And we're producing about 2 terawatt hours per year now, so it's only a 10x from where we are now. And he thinks that's achievable. It's not like you have to do 100x or 1000x, because he talks about here, it's not 2 orders of magnitude, it's not 3 orders of magnitude. So it seems doable. But, and this is something he talked about in his Stanford talk. I made a video about this before. It requires a sea change in investment thinking, because in the earlier days, essential battery materials, nickel, lithium, graphite, and more, were considered more valuable for other industries. And I talked about this in a previous video, that meant that the way the battery producers get these materials ends up being suboptimal. And if you're going to make batteries the most important use of these minerals, then the way you extract these minerals, the way you get these minerals, can end up being a different method that can lower the cost when you go to scale. Drew says the investments aren't insane, and from the demand side, from the supply side, helping the banks and the people loaning money understand that 20 terawatt hours is really needed, and those investments are going to pay back, so we can accelerate the last small hole that occurs. But an advantage to a battery-based economy is recycling. Unlike fossil fuels, you can't pull the carbon dioxide out of the air very easily, but you can recycle the materials in batteries. This is really important. And he's saying recovery rates of 1% for nickel, 10% for manganese, and up to 40% for iron, and over 95% of the initial lithium. Lithium is probably the biggest choke point. And if you can recover 95% of the lithium from the batteries you have, that's really important going forward. I've seen numbers of 96, 97%. There's a lot in Redwood Materials. That's JB Straubel's startup. JB was the former chief technology officer and a co-founder of Tesla. So this was just a really positive story, and I'm really excited about it. And I wanted to mention it because this matters for the future of Tesla. Why does this matter for the future of Tesla? For Tesla to get to 20 million vehicles, well, you need the batteries to support 20 million vehicles. If they're doing 1.8 million vehicles this year, you need 10 times as many batteries for 20 million vehicles. If you're going to 100x energy storage and you're doing, let's say 12 or 20 gigawatt hours this year. What are they doing? They're doing something like 20 gigawatt hours this year of energy storage, probably a little less than that. And you want to go to 1,000 terawatt hours, you got a 50x. You need a lot of battery materials. You need a lot of batteries. So these are all critical things for Tesla achieving the goals we're talking about. And here's the guy from Tesla who's in charge of batteries saying, "We got this. We're gonna, not that it's all set, but we're on the path. We can see the engineering challenges. We think we can get there. We're fairly confident that we can, get through these hurdles." So I think this is a really positive thing for Tesla for the future. It's the kind of thing that the Gary Blacks of the world don't see, they don't listen to, they don't pay attention. The Meet Kevins, the Ross Gerbers, it's not something that they see. These Wall Street analyst types, they're not getting it. If you can radically increase the volume of batteries, produce them more efficiently, get lower production costs, smaller factory space, you achieve all these goals, then you can deliver batteries, and then that enables everything else. It enables 20 million vehicles. It enables 1,000 terawatt hours of battery storage. These are all things that are going to happen if we follow this path. And I'm really excited to see that Drew talked about this several months ago. He's talked about it since. We're making progress on 4680s, 40% quarter on quarter increase in cell production, 40% quarter on quarter decrease in waste. Lots of progress is being made. So Tesla is on the path to the future. And if you focus on one little thing here, or Elon posted this on X, or you're going to do 1.79 million vehicles instead of 1.81 million vehicles in 2023, and oh, next year they're not going to maintain their 50% average run rate, cumulative average growth rate. Martin Vieck explained that, by the way, and I'm not going to maybe I'll put the post up. Martin Vieck explained that they expect to be a little bit slower the next couple of years, but when they start ramping the next generation vehicle, their growth rate's going to accelerate again. All good news, and all enabled by more batteries. And I also think that we're not talking enough about the use of iron-based batteries. As I look at the past, what Tesla has talked about, I think they're likely to start making iron-based batteries, lithium iron phosphate or something similar, maybe with manganese. That's probably coming for production in the United States. I don't know when, I don't know where. I haven't seen the slightest hint of it, other than that Tesla has talked about they expect the majority of the battery cells that they produce to be iron based. Not that they buy, that they produce. So very clear there's some intent. To me, there's very clear there's some intent to produce iron based batteries. Iron based batteries are cheaper than nickel based batteries. They're really appropriate for energy storage. They're useful in shorter range cars, not as useful in longer range or cars that have certain high demands like Cybertruck and Semi, but useful in a lot of ways. There's a lot of positive stuff happening. I'm really excited about all this. I hope you are too. While we're talking about it, please check out the t-shirts. Turn Impossible to Late. Tesla's Next Tesla. This is the Cybertruck t-shirt under here. It's cold out. So elonbits.com for the t-shirts. Use the YouTube code, the promo code YTMember for $2 off each item. I think it should work for more than one item, but I'm not sure. But please check it out, elonbits.com. Please support me on the Locals platform. Please subscribe to me on Twitter, on X, WR4NYGov. Support me as a YouTube channel member. Support me on Patreon. Any support's appreciated. Check out my other videos. Like this video, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching.